amid the thunderous roar of a Kodiak bear weighing nearly half a ton. A small dog was suddenly thrown straight into the bear's enclosure, right in front of hundreds of horrified onlookers. But what left everyone frozen in shock was the way the bear reacted immediately after. And behind what seemed like a scene destined for blood lies a truth so moving you wouldn't believe it if you didn't hear it all the way to the end. Stay with me until the very end to discover a miracle no one ever imagined could happen. Minnesota, USA. A crisp autumn morning. Mist still lingered around the animal enclosures of Green Pine Zoo. The rustling sound of golden maple leaves mixed with the laughter of children and the quiet murmur of visitors strolling by. Suddenly, a scream tore through the air. People turned around and saw a small golden retriever, pale golden fur, its body caked in mud, shoved over the metal fence, landing right in the middle of the bear enclosure. Among the panicked crowd was Mark, a zookeeper, 42 years old, tall and sturdy, wearing his faded green baseball cap, worn from years under the sun. Everyone at the zoo respected him for his unwavering love and care for animals. Mark once lost a dog he loved like family. Ever since, his heart had been even softer toward any small, helpless creature. In a few terrifying seconds, the roar of the Kodiak bear shook the ground like thunder. The Kodiak bear, nearly 1,100 pounds, reared up on his hind legs, slamming his massive front paws onto the concrete floor, sending vibrations echoing through the enclosure. Visitors screamed and backed away. Mark lunged toward the fence, gripping the cold steel bars tightly. His heart pounded wildly, terrified that a tragedy was moments away. Amid the chaos, Mark shouted, "Somebody call security. Stop all visitors from coming closer. I have to get into the bear enclosure right now." A colleague, trembling, pulled out his phone and called zoo management. But over the phone, the manager yelled back, "No, if you jump in now, both you and the dog could be killed." Mark shouted, voice breaking, "You don't understand. Kodiak isn't just any bear." Everyone expected Kodiak to lunge at the little dog. But he didn't. Instead, the bear slowly walked up to the dog, sniffed carefully, and then, unexpectedly, licked the dog gently on top of his head. The crowd fell silent, mouths hanging open. Mark stood frozen, tears filling his eyes. Because in that moment, Mark remembered a shocking truth. Mark clenched his jaw and turned toward the fence where a man stood hiding behind the crowd, eyes shifting nervously. He was the man who had thrown the dog into the bear enclosure. Mark roared, "Why did you do that? Were you trying to turn this place into a bloodbath?" The man stammered and stumbled backward. Security rushed in to grab him. Mark strode forward, pointing a shaking finger in the man's face, voice quivering with rage. "Do you know that Kodiak once lived with another golden retriever? That dog was his family. And you almost turned him into a killer of his own friend." The man hung his head, handcuffed, and led away. The entire crowd exploded with mixed gasps of fear and overwhelming emotion. The zoo manager came over to Mark and quietly said, "You didn't just save the dog. You saved Kodiak's reputation too. You proved today that animals have hearts just as big as ours." That day, the little dog was safely rescued. Mark decided to adopt him himself. Kodiak, the bear, still sometimes stood at the fence, gazing out quietly toward the empty space next to his enclosure, the space where his old dog companion once lived. Mark gently stroked the newly rescued dog's fur and smiled. Even the mightiest creatures can hold a friendship in their hearts that never fades. But if you think this is the most miraculous story, then you haven't heard about the golden retriever, who wouldn't stop barking outside a nursing home, all because of a secret that made the nurses cry. Don't miss the next video, right beside this one, to find out why the entire world was moved by one small dog.